So let's begin with today's discussion. So what I'm going to invite each one of you to do, and I'm not going to go the way I did just now. I will ask you to raise your hands, volunteer, and say what you want to say. But I want each one of you, at least who can, I want you to tell me something about 2022. What do you think about 2022? What are the challenges? How are you wanting to? So, I very carefully said visualize 2022, which means I want you to tell me your vision, right? Which means, can we have a look at what are we visualizing our 2022 to be like? So if I was to ask you a question, how was your 2021? So you can say a little bit about, in a line or two maximum, that this is what my 2021 was like. And then, do you want that to be the same in 2022, or you want it better? And if you want it better, what is it that you could do in 2021 which you like to do better in 2022, or do something different in 2022? So this is what I'm wanting to listen to first. And after that, there is another thing I'm going to ask you, but first let's concentrate on this. So as I said, it'll be a interactive stuff. I'm not going to give you a presentation. I do have a few slides which I'll just share some ideas with you later. But yeah, Nutan, please go ahead.
Yeah, because I may have to shut my camera, and I am very keen to share my inputs. See, 2021 passed away as it came. I was quite open to the changes. There were a lot of changes happening in the society, and actually, since I am all the time true learner, and I kept learning, and with the grace of God, I became a coach. I learned social media. I learned lots of anything and everything which came on social media. But I realized that it was all theory, and I could not really implement it. So I am now very keen to actually implement it and put it into practice and make use of these wonderful tools which are actually provided to us now today. So, and that's one of the main reasons why I want to be very regular to this platform, because I always tend to find somebody really brilliant from each of their fields. So that's my aim now, putting everything, the knowledge I've gathered, to put into the practice so that I can now do better for the society, which I really, really want to. But I fail to understand how to reach out to the maximum people, the farthest away to the people. That's my aim this year.
Very good. Okay. So if I would just add one line to what Nutan said, that yes, you have a very generic view of what you want to do in 2022. And if I've understood you correctly, you want to consolidate the gains that you have had in 2021 and put them into implementation mode. Okay. Along with that, if you can have a little more specific goal and make something that by the end of December 2022, I should be capable of A, B, C, D. That would make things better for you. Because when we have this type of a general thing, in my mind, that I want to be better, I want to put everything into use, you may not have a measurable thing. So
yeah,
that
answers get diluted. So for that, can I request you, you just mentioned that you had a session or you have a recording of some kind of a goal setting procedures or something. I would love to learn that.
Okay, so we will cover that part. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else wants to share what is your vision of 2022? Yes, Suman, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So 2021 was very, very interesting. Thanks to you so much. The 6 months program got me fully aligned, that I have to keep learning, get excellent in yoga. So I have done that. Learning is obviously a lifelong process, but 2022 is very, very focused. With the help of you, I was able to conduct my first yoga camp in Vada region. Now the goal is to keep doing camps every month. also help the online yoga sessions to grow with that. And I have locations identified in my mind, like Bangalore, Delhi, to first to go with. And then, as you said, that May, June should be Himalayas. So yes, now that is also added in my list. At least one camp every month. And I also started corporate yoga for Accenture, was the first, Accenture Canada, in November. So that's going to be second goal. So reach out to corporates and do at least one corporate yoga session, if every month. So that's the specific goal for 2021, 2022. Sorry.
Very good. So, if you can for your own detailed planning, it's good for your vision, it's good. But if you can put some numbers to how many camps you want to do or how many people you want to impact in the year, that would make it better. I'm not very happy with your locations. I wanted you to say that I will be doing it in Rome and Mexico and New York. That you never said. So you just left it to Himalayas and that's the end of it. No. And particularly now when your online yoga is doing so well, do you know that there's so much of a craze? And if you're prepared to go do a work at night, then reach out to USA, Canada, where people are dying for this. And let me tell you, in USA and Canada, people want yoga. They don't get this quality yoga. And if they get it, they'll get it at 10x the amount that you will charge. Because they pay in dollars. And when you start getting paid in dollars, you will be so happy getting even half of what they get pay there. So please don't, make the best of what COVID taught us. And that is.
So I already gained client one from Canada, and I already have one from US. So yes, that is also going to be my goal. I have started evening sessions for the foreigners. I am going to now strategize how I can increase the numbers of these clients.
Okay, good. Now let's go to the next person. Anyone else? Who else wants to add something? Okay. Now, what I would like all of you to do is either in the chat box or preferably in the WhatsApp group. Take your time, maybe even you do it tomorrow or day after. I would like you to write down where all, if somebody was to help you in goal setting, and I won't say goal setting, I'll say goal management, because goal setting is not as difficult as goal achievement is. Setting goals is easier. People set goals but they can't achieve them. So when you have goal setting plus goal achievement plus retention and sustainability, that becomes goal management, right? So let us have your views on your challenges. So if you tell me that I want to do this, but I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do this. So that means I will be able to then answer those questions for you in the next session. And I will probably do 1 or 2 more sessions this month, in the month of January, so that at least we can get on to making 2022 a great year for yourself. I am looking at making 2022 the best year of my life so far. Okay, 2023 can be even better, but out of the life so far, I would like to make 2022 the best. How many of you would like to do that? How many of you would like to make 2022 your best year of your life so far? And to do that, we'll have to go a little methodically. How many of you are interested in doing that? Please raise your hands. How many of you are interested in making your 2022 better? The chances are you will not, because you're only interested. How many of you are committed to make 2022 a better? So turn your interest into commitment. A lot of people have this desire. They want to be lying down in their bed and achieving goals. It doesn't happen. You have to wake up. You have to jump out of your bed and move. And move in a planned manner. Otherwise, you will be moving on a wheel. You know, when you move on a rocking chair, a lot of movement, lot of perspiration, but at the end of it, you're there only. You don't move ahead. So move and move in the right direction. If you are moving in the wrong direction, you will never achieve a goal. So my first piece of advice to everyone is, please write down somewhere, interest will not work, commitment will work. And when I say I want to achieve these goals, you have to tell yourself, I will do it come what may, at any cost. Till that commitment comes from inside you, goals will not be achieved. I don't know how many of you are aware of the statistics which come from my guru called Brian Tracy. When I first attended his workshop in 2013, he started his workshop, which was on goal setting, for 2 days. It was a 2 days workshop. And he said, do you know that only 10% people in this world have goals? 90% people don't live with any goals at all. And he said, out of those 10% people, there are only 2% people who have written goals. And goals which are not written, there are no goals at all. Goals which are not written are wishes, desires, fantasies, dreams. They are not goals. Unless goals are written down, they are not goals. So the first thing he told us, and please, I'm telling you, and Bindu, you can keep putting these things in the chat box when I'm coming to some crunch issues. And the one I'm coming to now is think on paper. Think on paper. That's the term he used, and he used it many times in that workshop. And I borrowed it and I use it many times myself. Think on paper. Just telling yourself, I'll do this, nothing will happen. That is where journaling comes in. That is where affirmations come in. When you write and say to yourself, I will do this month. Make a commitment to yourself. Just day before yesterday, I gave a 10-minute talk on purpose of life. And I also delivered, incidentally, on 11th of December, I delivered my second TEDx talk on purpose of life. So I was just giving an example, and this has come to people as, you know, there are 2-3 people who have walked up to me and said, sir, that one sentence of yours has made a big impact on the way I'm going to think about life now. And I'll tell you what I said. And it's not my original one. I've heard it from Sadhguru and, sorry, not from Sadhguru, it is from Gaur Gopal Das. He said, you said at night you decide to get up at 6 o'clock and you set your alarm for 6. But in the morning at 6 o'clock, you don't feel like getting up. So you snooze, because that's a beautiful feature that every mobile phone has given us now. And your finger automatically goes to that corner of your phone where you know that even if your eyes closed, you snooze. And then you get up at 6:30. Tell me, what have you lost? What have you lost?
Respect for your own words.
Absolutely. People say half an hour. That is not the problem. You have lost respect for yourself because you have realized that you may not have realized that you have permitted yourself to disobey yourself. Don't do that. Because then over a period of time, you get used to believing that your own word is not very important. If you can't obey yourself, if you can't be self-disciplined, how will you be able to manage other people? How would anyone else respect you if you don't respect yourself? Okay. So these are the 2-3 things that I wanted to tell you firstly to begin with, that when you start with goal setting, number 1, be absolutely committed. Secondly, be self-disciplined. I can tell you 100 tips on time management and goal setting. None of them will work till this one major tip, the mother tip, works, and that is self-discipline. And self-discipline is, and if you want to write down, please write down. And Bindu, I want you to write down this in the chat box. Self-discipline is doing what you ought to do, doing what you ought to do, even when you don't feel like doing it, and when nobody's watching you. Doing what you ought to do. You know that you have to do it. You know I have to go to the gym. You know I want to go to the gym. I want to go for a walk. I know I want to do it, but I don't feel like doing it. Okay. So when you don't feel like doing it, but you still do it, you're self-disciplined. So no goal setting happens if you are not self-disciplined. No time management happens if you are not self-disciplined. So when Seema was talking about procrastination, procrastination happens because of lack of self-discipline. So the first thing, Seema, you will have to do is get self-disciplined. How? There are so many ways of doing it. In any other session, I'll be able to help you. Right. Now let's move further. Any other thing that you would like to tell me, which is coming to your mind on how you, either any challenges or your plans of making 2022 a better year than before? Anyone? And just be a little brief, yeah. Come on, I'm waiting for somebody to say something.
One of the things that I'm wanting to do is, pay more attention to my fitness and my mental health. I think, last year has been turbulent, and I've realized that, paying less attention to my fitness because I was focusing on other things has actually had an impact on everything else. And I think that is fundamental. So that's one of the goals I want to take. I still haven't defined the parameters and the measure for it, but that's one thing that I have in mind. And of course, there's an income goal and there's another goal related to my work, which is there, which I want to kind of fine tune and, articulate well.
Okay. Good. Any other comments on that?
Sir, I would like to share.
Yeah, please go ahead.
21 has given me a strong relationship with so many, and I've built so many connections. So that is why I will always remember 21. Now in 22, I have a vision, short-term goal, long-term goal. I've joined a new institution, so my goal is towards making that institution a premium one. That is my first goal. Second, as I am a mentor, I'm a trainer, so I've planned at least 2 sessions per month I will be taking in every month. And then my personal strength, I want on this Christmas, I just request God to bless me more power to meditate more and more, more and more, more and more. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. Okay. So now I'm going to take you to a presentation which I made just to sum up a couple of things that we think we can do. And here is my screen. Can you all see that?
Yes, sir.
So now, if you're going to visualize your 2022 and you want to have some breakthrough goals, then I've been calling this program called Set It, Get It, which is set your goals and achieve your goals. And the essence of what I want to say today is, and we have said some of these things, firstly, you have to have your intention clear. If you have something which you start off with an intention, and your intention is very well defined and clear, then the future gets created. As they say, intention is the seed that creates the future. So when you get into the intention, it is something like asking yourself, why am I here? So for example, here in this, when you have a workshop, you say, why am I talking about this subject today right now? Because there is something inside me that makes me feel that I'm not doing as well as I should be doing or as I can be doing. And therefore, I am interested in this subject. Second is, why am I investing my team? And team is an acronym which I've created for time, effort, energy, and money. So yes, nobody's invested any money here, but time, effort, and energy. Why am I investing? So once your answer is clear, you then know that, okay, if this is what I'm going to achieve, then I have a little clearer intention to do that. Okay. And the rest of the two things we'll skip because they are meant for a workshop, which I'm not doing right now. Now we have to look at 2022 and view it differently. Because whatever you did in 2018, 2019 is not the way 2022 is going to happen, because every day things are changing. Now, change is the only constant, they say. And we've known that. And change was happening even 100 years ago, change is happening today. But the speed of change has dramatically changed. And particularly what we have seen in COVID, the whole world was taken by storm, something that was least expected, something that was unimaginable, and it challenged everyone. Many people thrived through that challenge. There are some people I know whose businesses became better during COVID than before, but they are very few. Most other people had a lot of challenges, whether they were health challenges, whether they were mental health, physical health problems, whether it were relationship issues, whether they were financial issues. We all had our share of challenges. How we have responded to them is different, but challenges were there. So now, once we are, of course, I also feel that 2020 and 2021 have trained us a lot. We have been hardened. In the army, we use this word called toughened. So we have been toughened by the situation, by the circumstances. And now we are actually better equipped to handle uncertainties than we were in the beginning of 2020 when we were taken by surprise. How many of you agree with this? Write in the chat box, I agree. If you agree that now we are toughened, we are much better off than we were some time back. So I only got Sudhanshu to agree. The rest of the people are still wondering whether they agree or they don't agree. Okay, Bhavna is also agreeing. Seema, I agree. Kavita, I agree. Okay, good. So now let's move ahead to the next slide. And 1 second. So we've had these twin years of challenge, 2020, 21. I don't know why I'm not being able to, just 1 second. Okay, yeah. So it was the first time that a crisis like this happened. We all know. I'm not going to take too much of time on this. We just quickly cover. In the beginning, when we started, there was no vaccine. The whole world was wondering, ab kya hoga? Okay, then we had a lot of challenges I've just discussed. We experienced the uncertainty of human existence. We saw the first recession since independence, the worst rather, sorry. Sharp rise in unemployment, and 53% of the businesses were badly affected. And there were waves of uncertainty. First wave went away, we thought everything is becoming okay. People started going out, and then wave 2 hit us strongly. And now we have got a third wave which is hitting us. Yesterday, there were some very alarming statistics going on. We have doubled the rate of Omicron in the last 2 days. So the way it's going, they are expecting, or there's a prediction that there could be about 1 lakh cases in January. But let me also give you a good news that I was talking to one doctor yesterday whom I know very well, and he's very learned about all this. He said that Omicron will come, even if it comes in massive numbers, it is not going to be a very killer variant. It's going to be a little mild variant. That is what the statistics are showing. Because in UK, with all the numbers, I don't remember the numbers, but only 7 deaths took place, which is very, very low as compared to what was happening earlier. Having said that, what I'm trying to now come to is that when we are looking out of the tunnel, we can see some bright hopes. And in that hope, you have to now see what is my version 2. If today you are on version 1, or I can say your best version or whatever, you have to now write down a couple of things and say that this is what I want to achieve in 2022. I would like you to make a list of as many points as you want to, but then narrow them down to a few that you must do, a few that you could do, a few that you should do. Okay. Must, should, could. 3 priorities. And then be very firm that in your prioritization of your daily activities, you are absolutely focused on that. The next is, I'm very fond of using this term called operating ahead of the predictability curve. Now, people who are smart, people who are visionaries, what they do is they first understand, and that is why I'm calling this visualization of 2022. You have a vision of what I want. Why people don't get what they want in life? Generally, they don't even know what they want. So the first thing is get clarity in your mind about what you want. And once I know what you want, then work backwards to say, what all do I need to do to reach there? Okay. So if you could visualize your December 2022 and then work backwards and say, what all do I need to do, and make that list. What do I need to do to reach there? I think you would do a great job. This is what Abdul Kalam said, and I'm very, very fond of this quote, which says, to succeed in your mission, you must have a single-minded devotion to your goal. It could be goals, but single-minded devotion, which means if you're not focused and if you have too many things on your mind, you may not achieve anything, which doesn't mean that you will only have one goal for the year, but you will not have too many. So please decide on the number of manageable goals that you can do so that you don't get frustrated when they don't happen. Many people make a lot of goals, they don't get them, and then they start telling themselves, oh, it doesn't work. And they drop the idea of pursuing their goals further, which means that it becomes a matter of discouragement rather than encouragement. I'm just going to show you a small video clip on what I talk about aspirational goals.
I do goal setting workshops as an expert. I've done about 10 years of research on the subject of goal setting. And let me tell you that these are limiting goals, they don't work. So what do we do? What we do, every year we look back, पिछले साल कितना था? अगले साल क्या था? फिर अगले साल पहुंचते हैं यहाँ पे, पिछले साल क्या था? My benchmark is what? Past performance. My benchmark is what? बचपन से करता रहा। अभी 40 मार्क्स मिले ना, अगली बार 50 मिलेंगे। 50 मिल गए, अगली बार मेरे को 60 लेने हैं। We have been doing this, we are used to it. और मेरा जो माइंड है लिमिट बनाता है कि यार तेरा काम खाली 10% और हो सकता है। मार्केट ही ऐसी है। ये ना, ये प्रोडक्ट भी इतना है, इतना और कहाँ बिकेगा बताओ। एंड जब हम वो सोच लेके चलते हैं तो वी आर इनटू पास्ट, प्रेजेंट, फ्यूचर। एंड माय लाइफ इज समथिंग लाइक दिस। पीछे देख के आगे चल रहा हूँ, कहाँ से आई स्पीड। Now, can we convert this into something which I call aspirational goal, where we say, from past performance, let me look into the future projections.
Please make a note of it. Instead of past performance, make it to future projection. Okay, all your goals should be based not on what you did last year. Last year you review and forget it. Now you make your aspirational goals future projection. So Bindu, please write down somewhere future projection.
companies will have 2020. तो 2010 में लोगों ने बनाया अगले 10 साल का प्लान और बोला मिशन 2020 2000 करोड़. Beautiful sunboards, lovely standees all over. उससे कुछ नहीं. Unless the DNA of the company says something like this, that is 2000 crores in 2020 and today we are at 2010 for example. And I make a mental graph कि अगर मेरे को 2020 में पहुंचना है तो my life is going to be like this. अभी तक पीछे भी देख लूंगा कि मैंने पीछे क्या गलतियां की थी, but मेरा फोकस आ गया. You want to make aspirational goals or you want to make limiting goals? हाथी का बच्चा, उसको सिखा दिया बचपन में कि तू ये नहीं तोड़ सकता. उसको रस्सी से बांध दिया पेड़ के साथ, उसने बड़ी हड़बड़ाहट की, बड़ी कोशिश की, पर उसको नहीं तोड़ सकता. तो एक कंडीशनिंग हो गई, आई कैन नॉट ब्रेक दिस बिलीफ सिस्टम. ये मेरे से नहीं टूटेगा. बड़ा हो गया हाथी, मैसिव हाथी, उसको फिर उसी रस्सी से बांध दिया बल्ली के साथ, नॉट इवन अ ट्री. वो ऐसे हिलाएगा भी ना तो वो बल्ली टूट जाएगी. और हाथी करता है क्या? क्यों? It has been conditioned from the mind, from the childhood कि तेरे से नहीं होगा. आपके अंदर 2-3 दुश्मन हैं. एक तो है आपके inner voice. It's also called the little voice. There are books on it. If anyone wants, I'll give you references. Read those books, see those YouTube videos talk about little voice. आपके अंदर एक little voice जो बोलती है तेरे से नहीं होगा, छोड़ दो. करने की जरूरत क्या है? इसके साथ आपके कुछ दोस्त भी रहते आपकी कंपनी में, ठीक है ना? वो आपको बोलते हैं तुम क्या इतना पंगा ले रहा है, तेरी वजह से मेरे को भी सुनना पड़ता है बहुत से. तेरा परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा हो रहा है. अभी लड़के खड़े हुए थे अभी, ऑल द वेट स्टूड अप. उनको कई लोग बाहर जाके बोलेंगे चलो क्या जरूरत है इतना टारगेट प्रोड्यूस करने की, अभी हमको भी करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? You don't have to listen to your little voice. You don't have to listen to such people. And these people are very dangerous people. उनकी बड़ी association है. By the way, this association is called GCA. Do you know that? Global Complainers Association. और इसकी एसोसिएशन के लोग हर कंपनी में पाए जाते हैं. और ढूंढने कहाँ पर? तो कॉन्फ्रेंस खत्म होगी तो जहाँ टी ब्रेक है वहां पे मिलेंगे, वॉशरूम के आसपास मिलेंगे आपको, ठीक है? और वो यही बोल रहे होते हैं बड़ा बोल रहा है, सब अच्छा टारगेट करेगा कौन? ये होने वाला नहीं है. ये तो ऐसे बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हैं लोग, होता नहीं है. ठीक है? Now these are the people you have to avoid. You have to avoid these people और उनको अपने लाइन पे लेके आइए प्लीज. We all want to move forward. We will have aspirational goals. We have a belief system. We take the team together. It's not only going to depend on my performance. It's going to depend on my team's performance.
Okay, so okay, just tell me, did this clip give you something to learn from? Say in the chat box if this clip. So what did you learn from this, or what has struck you in this? You can just raise your hand and say, if you are typing in the chat box, even that's okay. But I'm okay if you open your, take your mic and tell us what did you pick up from this video clip? No one picked up anything.
I feel when we keep looking at the past, what really has happened, and if we only focus on that, then our targets are really going to be very limited. So that's the main thing. You know, we need to look at the future and imagine something that we've not imagined before, and accordingly make new targets. So I basically added US in my list of camping.
Very good. Okay, anyone else?
And sir, Nutan here. We should also be among the progressive people and not the ones who are always looking for escapes. So the mastermind around, the people around, make a big influence on our actions.
Very good. So you are as good as the average of 5 people you hang out with. So please remember a term called proximity is power. In whose proximity, in whose company do you remain? If you are going to remain in the company of people who are always complaining, cribbing, then you are certainly going to be in a negative environment. So yes, it's very important that you connect with people who are positive, who are progressive, who are moving forward, and that will help you a lot. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead. Anyone else? So I'm going to now finish in a while. I think we've already taken more time, but the initial part, because we started late. Okay, so setting goals. So there are 3 steps that I want to talk. Sorry. Okay, no, I think we've missed out on that. No. Okay, I'm forgetting that. So there are some steps that we take goals from, make our goals with. The first is that you have a dream. I'm going to cut short on this dream. Then you have a mission, you have a vision, you have a purpose of life. But with all these 3-4 things that I've talked about, which are at a very far distant level, you must come to long-term goals. And long-term goals, many years ago, we used to talk of 10 to 20 years. Now, because of the speed of change, we are talking of 3 to 5 years. In my own personal way, I look at 3 years. I don't even talk of 5 years. Particularly in this COVID environment, it is better that you look for 3 years. And from those 3 years, derive your yearly goals. So at the moment, I will say that after having had a general line of direction, that is what we call in the army, GLD. General line of direction, which means your dream, your purpose, your mission, your vision will give you a general idea of where to go. And then please focus on your 1 year's goals. So if all of you look at December 2022, and to be precise, 31st December 2022, I should have achieved this. That will make a great difference. Now, I have practically seen and worked out something which some of my students have got fantastic results from, is a way of focusing on your quarterly goals. Okay, let me explain this a little before we go further. Your quarterly goals, say if you have got a yearly goal, how will you derive your quarterly goals from a yearly goal? Anyone? Let's say I've got to make 120 new clients this year. That is my goal. I'm looking at 120 new clients. What should be my quarterly goal? Anyone? Come on, yaar, quick. Somebody has to answer. Yeah, so Sudhanshu, what's your quarterly goal?
So quarterly goal is an income goal that I've taken, that this is the amount of money that I want to make in the next.
No. I've given you an example. That example is that I'm going to make 120 new clients this year. What should be my quarterly goal?
30.
So
30 new clients in the quarter.
Okay, Ramji, yes. Ramji, tell me.
Sir, I believe in the Kaizen principle of the Japanese. Go little by little by little, rather than jumping by quarters or leaps and bounds.
Okay. Okay.
The Kaizen principle.
I want you to repeat after I just finished what I'm going to tell you, and then Ramji, I want you to tell me again what you think. Nutan, you have something to say?
Yeah. So first of all, I'll have to check the ratio for how many people should I contact, and what is the conversion ratio. So accordingly, I should set my strategies to go down to those number of people, work out the means how to reach out to those number of people. And then I need to, this is more, has to be working strategically regarding the number of positives that come out of my trial.
Okay. So Nutan, only one caution here, that the moment you start focusing on the how, without very clearly understanding your why and what, you may go wrong. So how starts limiting you. Then you will say, oh, I can only do this much. So you'll say, no, 120 to ho hi nahi sakta, I'll do only 50. So first you have to work out your why, because in your business plan, if your why is very strong that I need 120 clients to move forward, then that will become a fixed goal, and now you will work the means around it to reach there. Okay, so that is point.
Sir,
The
there
point
is a
I was
problem here.
just one second.
See,
Let me just finish and we'll talk about your problem.
yeah.
Otherwise, you'll
Yeah.
probably lose the thread.
Yes.
Now, what I'm wanting to really bring out with the example that I gave you is, it is not mathematical division by 4. Okay. If I tell you that you have to read, let's say my goal is to read 100 and just a second. If I say my goal is to read 12 books in a year, okay, what should be my quarterly goal? Again, you'll say 3, right? I have a book which is this thick, which has got 100 pages. And I've got this book, which is about 300 pages. Can I equate them? So, point is, there are many examples I can give you, which means that you have to go practically and say, what should I do every month to reach that 120, which is not a blind division. That's all what I was trying to say. So, strategically and all what Nutan is saying is fine, but I was trying to say here that quarterly goals is not a mathematical division. It has to be done considering the way it works. So when you make, let's say, 10 clients this month, it is likely that next month it is easier to make 20, 15 or 16, because those 10 clients that you made will also refer you to some more people. So if you work that way, even if you do 10 this month and 15 next month and 25 next month, you'll reach 120. So you don't have to start with per month according to that. Okay. Also, there was once I was doing this workshop and I asked, there were some business people there, all business owners were there. So I asked somebody, what's your yearly goal? So this guy was doing business of corporate gifting. So he said some number, but let's for ease of calculation, let's say he said 120 lakhs. So I said, what's your monthly goal? And he exactly did that. He said 10 lakhs. So I said, how much can you achieve in the month of March? Because we're doing this workshop in February. He said, नहीं sir, March में कुछ नहीं होता. मैं क्यों? Sir, वो corporates का तो अभी budget ही नहीं बनता है. So I said, okay, so what will you write? Goal 10 lakhs, achieve nothing. Next month कितना हो जाएगा? April में कितना हो जाएगा? बोला सर April में भी नहीं आता, May से पहले कुछ नहीं आता. तो मैं कहा, now you'll say, you'll make an Excel sheet, goal set 10 plus 10, 20, achieve 0. Is that going to give you any encouragement or frustration? He said frustration. I said, okay, tell me, what will be your goal in October? He said, sir, October में बहुत आता है, वो ना दिवाली आती है, दशहरा आता है, बहुत सेल होती है. And then he came himself to say that the maximum sale happens in October, November, December because of Diwali, Dussehra, Christmas, New Year. How can you then say, then I said, but you said 10 lakhs every month. So you will have to make your goals in a quarterly way, but I'll now tell you why this quarterly system, particularly in today's world, works a lot. And then I want Ramji to tell me what he was going to say. Okay, so I'm going to take you to the next slide. And before I go to the to my idea that I want to share with you is that from quarterly goals, you come to monthly goals, you come to weekly goals, you come to daily goals, and then you have rituals. And rituals, I've spelled them differently only because they're very rich in their content. These are the habits, the morning ritual, the evening ritual, ritual before you go to sleep. These are the ones that discipline you to achieve their goals. They are not goals by themselves. They are rituals. Getting up in the morning at 5 o'clock and 5 to 8, having that 5 a.m. club routine, that is a ritual, it's not a goal, right? Now, the next thing which I wanted to share with you are the 6 P's. And that is, just make a note of this: proper, prior, planning prevents poor performance. Okay. What people do is they do a lot of work without proper planning. तो अगर आप प्लान करके चलते हैं और आपका प्लान नहीं भी चलता, you know how to be flexible to change your plan. But otherwise it won't work. Now, how do you do that? I want to also see if I'm missing out on, okay, it will come, I think. Okay. Just 1 second, I think. No. Just 1 second. I think I've gone wrong in deleting some slides, which I did some time back. So just give me a second. Sorry for this little flap. Oh no. I want to show you this slide. Okay. Can you see this now? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, what I really want you to do is that in the month of January, you will make your goals for February, right? In the end of February, now, firstly, in the month of January, you make your goals up to April, which means my goals for the next quarter. But at the end of January, you will see how much did you achieve, how much you didn't, and then on the 1st of February, you will make your goals for March, April, May. And the next month, you will make your goals for April, May, June. So this is called the roll-on plan. Why I'm saying is, and why this has become very important, is because of the radical changes that are taking place in our environment today. You have to constantly review the changes. So every time if you have a 3 months vision, which is related to your yearly vision, then you are able to every month make a revised plan. And this is a very powerful way of being able to achieve goals for a year like 2022. There's a difference from what anyone will teach you. This is not what is given in any book. It's not on Google. This is my own experiment, which has worked in last 2 years. I thought of it in 2020. Somewhere in the middle, we started teaching it. Some people tried it for 6 months. It worked well. Some people, for some corporates, I did financial year. So you see my own goals. When I came back from Dubai in February 2020, I had some very interesting corporate programs in Dubai, which I had signed up before I came. But in the month of March, they got cancelled. So I told my team, let's make quickly different goals now. And we quickly launched an online program. Sudhanshu is a student of that, so he knows about this. We launched a program called Train the Online Trainer. And that is what made us survive when all other programs were cancelled. So that means I had to quickly reset my goals. And then we started looking at that, okay, now this uncertainty will continue. How do I do it? So throughout 2020 and then 2021, I experimented with this, and not my own experiment. All my students went through these, and I've taken their feedback. And this has been found to be a good way of achieving your goals. Of course, I won't say this is the ideal, this is the best. There could be many more ways, but this is something we have tried. I would like you all to look at this and tell us if this works. At least make an attempt, and then from your feedback, maybe we can get some better ideas and we can reform them. So now, having said that, I would like to ask Ramji that you were saying something. Now you tell me the same thing from when you said I believe in, and then there was some point you made. So now tell me, does it make an overall sense in what I told you now?
Definitely. Again, the goals would be varied for different people, depending on the kind of work that one is indulging in and the kind of products that one is bringing out. Say, for example, my brother who is running a coffee plantation in Coorg, his prime work or the output or the productivity happens only in the last 4 or 5 months when it is harvested, and he makes all the money for the rest of the year. That type of people are also there. And there are people like me who are educators who look for even making small changes, minute changes in people's life, in our students' life, in our teachers' life, little by little by little. I strongly believe in this philosophy which the Japanese has been very successfully following in, the Kaizen principle. But what you are saying, I'm not negating what you are saying is wrong. It depends. It varies from person to person, varies from the product to product, and business to business, actually, whatever you like.
Absolutely right. And I also want to say one thing here, rather qualify, that goals are not only from money point of view. They are not only, goals are also from your, from different angles. So when I tell trainers, I got an acronym for the community that I deal with. It's called STEC, and STEC is speaker, trainer, educator, coach, consultant. Okay, so this is a community with which we deal, and I've been saying that we must have two goals, two major goals. Okay, one are financial goals and one are functional goals. While I have a financial idea of how much I want to earn, but I also have an idea of how many people's lives I want to impact. So if I say I want to impact 2,000 people's lives in a year, and if I'm not getting, I'll go and do a free program in Rotary or something to at least keep getting my experience that I've impacted those people. I've not got my money. So segregate your financial goals from your functional goals. And in the field of education, education is a very different field. Here, your product is not related to the price. It is in any other place, your product and price are related. Product and price have a relationship. Here they don't, because your product is unlimited. You will not tell a student that I charge you 200 rupees per month as your fee and I've given you 200 rupees worth of knowledge. You will charge him 200 rupees and give him infinite knowledge. Am I right, Ramji?
Very true. Very, very true.
So we are in a different field. Educators can't be compared with business people. Although it's a sad story that most educational institutions have become commercial houses. That is for another discussion. Okay. Yes, Nutan, you wanted to say something. When you were saying, I said, let's ask you again if you have anything to add.
Yes.
So all this while, what I gathered, and actually I always thought the same way, that goal setting is important. Reminding of your own self, discipline of your own self is equally important. The main thing from where it starts is the why, your own personal why. That is something which I'm not able to formulate it till now, because I've seen people who are struggling. I mean, I feel there is some kind of a do or die situation, then people do it with a strong why. Or sometimes if it's a real pleasure driven, then also people have some why where they stick on to. So this why is actually something which is giving me an easy life, not doing it, not disciplining myself. I know this is not a very good way of spelling it out, but I'm admitting that this is the main reason.
So there are two things I would recommend to you. One is, no, I don't have it in front of me right now. There is a book by Rory Vaden, Roryvaden, Rory Vaden, and the book is called Procrastinate on Purpose. And he also has a TED Talk. So first I said, before you go for the book, you go through his, no, sorry. No, not Rory Vaden, Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek, Simonsinek. He's got a, you just say Simon Sinek TEDx, and you will get his video where he's talked of the golden circle, and he says why people should start with why and how to determine your why. And then he's got a book called Start With Why. I've got all these books. I can't see them right now. I just did a little shuffling the other day, and I think they're all gone here and there. So the book is called Start With Why. Okay. So you will get a little more idea, and then you can have a one-to-one call with me sometimes where we can discuss how you can locate your why. It's very important, because once your why is clear, then your what and how become very easy.
You get driven. It's like water flowing.
But when you start with how, nothing happens.
True.
If Dhirubhai Ambani was to say, how can I become a millionaire? I don't have any money. He could have never become a millionaire.
And nobody can actually copy Dhirubhai Ambani's way of doing or the process. Everyone have their own whys. So that's something.
So that is only one example. But any example you say, there was a why. What is Mahatma Gandhi's why? What is Mother Teresa's why? They had very strong whys.
Yes. Agree.
Okay, so do we have a why like that? Okay. So anyway, I have come to an end. I wanted to finish at 6 and it's already 6:28. Now, I am going to be doing a workshop on Monday. It's a 2-hour masterclass. And I have kept it only for people who are serious about it. And that is why I've got a little price for that. Because you keep it free, then I don't know how many people are going to be really serious. So I'm going to ask Bindu to put in the link. So all those who are interested, it's a small amount of 299 rupees plus GST. So if you like to attend that, or if you have any friends who want to do that, we'll do it on Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. And yeah, so that is a way I want to just pay my little contribution to this community of BLA, while I will not be doing my regular programs anymore. So there'll be no more goal setting programs this year. I'm just doing it in the month of January. I'll do 1 or 2. And then like every year I used to do many of them, I'll not be doing anymore. Any questions? Or before any questions, I also want everyone to share in the chat box. And you may also do it in the WhatsApp group. If you do in the WhatsApp group, the advantage is that all those who are not attending also get to learn something from this. And that is, What are your major takeaways today? Is there anything that in the last 1.5 hours, something that has impacted you, something that you feel you learned? Please write down in the chat box and copy paste it in the WhatsApp group. In fact, even if others have not been able to do it, so that this learning from everyone gets transmitted onto the group. Yeah. So no takeaways. I'm not seeing anything in the chat box. The rolling goal setting is a great takeaway. So it's called a quarterly roll-on plan. On Monday, when I do that workshop, I'll explain it in more details. To have my strong why. Okay, good. Nutan says that. Seema, Kavita, no takeaways. Ramji, no takeaway. How many of you think I wasted your time? So on a scale of 1 to 10, please write down how was the session from your time investment point of view. Did you waste your time? Did you have a good time? So on a scale of 1 to 10, just write down your overall rating of the program. So Ramji has said 7. Sudhanshu said 8. Okay. Although it was just an interactive session and not really a class. But on Monday, you will get to learn a lot of more details. Okay, Bindu, I think you give the link of the form, and if the payment is not a problem, that we can handle even later. I just want to know how many people want to come. Payment can happen even later. Okay, so if there are no questions and no more takeaways, thank you very much for being here, and look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye-bye and God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.